All right. Time now is 9:23 a.m. on May 8th. I slept from 3:45 to 9. Um yeah, I'm so tired. I swear to God, I really want to sleep earlier. Last night I ended up not watching any episode of Beef last night. I didn't watch anything last night at the very end. Um but I did edit my short film and I got distracted. I was so sleepy. My eyelids was gonna completely close. But then I was so into it when I was editing my short film. I was editing the montage scene and I'm picking and choosing between different clips of Hong Kong and, all the dystopian, dejected, depictions of Hong Kong. And I was just so into it. So I actually finished editing the montage sequence, which is really nice. Um, so yeah, today's a Monday, which means that I have photo one. And then after photo one, I'm gonna come back home, have a quick lunch, and then I'm going to go out again at around 4 p.m. to CMD to open up an editing room so that from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'll be there doing some coloring work with Cliff, coloring my short film, which is going to be exciting because his color grading for cloud busting I wasn't a huge fan of, and I ended up not really using it aside from one shot for one cut. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, hopefully we get to color things. I and Liz are talking again. God, I thought she thought I was annoying for a moment. But once again, this morning I wake up to her text messages, which is really nice. Um, um, yeah, not much else, honestly. Hopefully I can finish some college homework. Hopefully, I can, get some permits for the Film 33 and then edit some reviews and whatever. I realize I'm really out of vegetables. Maybe like when I return home after photo one today, I can like pass by Nijio Market and like get some food there. Um, yeah, that would be ideal. That would be ideal. Um, yeah, and then uh, yeah, that guy who sold me the lens on eBay, I texted him over eBay a couple of days ago asking him if there are any dust or fungus in the lens, just to test if he's responsive or not. And for the whole day, he didn't respond. But then yesterday, he did respond, and he doesn't seem very like a professional responder. He was like, "Are you contacting me through a different account? Are you contacting me to change your address? Not even a hi, not even a thank you for buying. Just, are you contacting me from a different account?" And then he said, "Oh, the lens is in perfect condition. It's not even used. Don't worry." And then that's it. At least he's responsive, but we'll see. I'll be checking the lens for all sorts of scratches, fungus, contact point issues, whatever. Um, and then we'll see. Um, yeah, it seems like my life's back on track again. Um, I just, I don't feel like I'll ever really go down that sadness rabbit hole. I feel like another pretty saddening moment would be when I realized Pepper, Potter, and JT are hanging out, and I couldn't hang out with them, and I never could hang out with them, and they went to a party, and I never went to one. And it's like, but that didn't sadden me. That was around, I think, that was around November. I sort of just put it aside and just continued because, you know, I have my own shit going on. Like, I have Asian World Film Festival. I bet some people out there are jealous that I got to like volunteer for Asian World Film Festival and with Pepper, and then I meet all these new people, and I'm so freaking cool. Yeah. So I really don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's that. That's that for today.
Yeah, I didn't know it was there. You'll never know.
Come with him also.
Alright, just got back from Ralph's. I got spicy salmon roll, not tuna. I found tuna, but I've never tried this. I get fried tofu. I got some corn salad for tonight, and then I got some green beans. I got a couple onions. I got this miso soup. I got fried gyoza. I got some bean sprouts. I got some kimchi, and I got an onigiri also for tonight. $30 something, $39. Okay. Bro. Yeah, let's try less saturation.
I went too much.
Just like
Has to be smaller.
yeah.
First guy.
Wait, hold on.
Meet the actor. Yeah, the issue is his shoulders. They're the same color. This is horrible.
Yeah.
Unless like you don't mind the sky being bright. I mean, sure.
See the before and after. Yeah. It's pretty great. Just want to say, this block of fried tofu, microwave for 1.5 minutes, tastes absolutely incredible. Just nothing but the fried tofu. No soy sauce, no chili sauce, nothing. Magnificent. And we got the spicy tuna, the avocado, quote unquote Japanese food. Alright, time now is 12:11 after midnight. Lots to talk about, lots to discuss. Yeah, again, I have so much to say today, and I have, after I came back home from Photo One, I actually planned to, film myself, talk a little bit, but I just didn't have the time, so I guess now is the time. But yeah, let's go over today chronologically. The first half with Photo One, took bus number 1. I thought I would be late, turns out I'm not, because, bus number 7 was right in front of me. I went to the farther bus stop, where I could also take Rapid 7, and Rapid 7 passed by me while I was on the bus, while I was on the first bus. So I was just gonna like, you know what? I'm gonna be late. Fuck it. I'm gonna be slow. And then I saw bus number 7 right in front of me, right before the crossroad. Thankfully, the traffic light turned white, not green, turned white, and then I could pass. So I was faster than the bus, and I could hop onto the bus fast. That's that. I arrived right on time. Yay! Nobody showed up today. Not even Aiden, the hidden Hong Konger. I did see Amy, the Indonesian, on the bus. Today's also uh, the first time I wore a beanie the whole day. Nobody asked me about it. Like, nobody talked to me like, "Oh, you look different. Where's your hair?" Like, nobody questioned me or anything. But I feel nice with a beanie on. I feel different. Uh, I feel more serious as a person. So that's really cool. I want to every time I see Leslie, every time I turn up to the CMV, I just want to have a different look. So this time around I'll have a beanie. Next time around I'll try maybe like clipping my hair. And then if USC rejects me for film production and film studies, I'll fucking shave my eyebrows. I'll actually shave my eyebrows. That's a bet I met. I know if UCLA rejects me, I'll shave my eyebrows. But the thing is that when UCLA rejected me, I wasn't even that saddened by it. So there's that. Anyways, I digress. We did nothing for photo one other than we downloaded an app called Snapseed in our phones, and we took photos and edited the photos in the app. And it's the most boring, pointless class of all times. After class, so there's an extra credit assignment we could do, and that's basically where we would go to this photo gallery, and if we go there, we get an extra credit. Simple as that. And the Chinese guy, James, he wants to go, and there are a couple other people, Alex and Felipe, and the Chinese guy wants to ask them, and he told me to translate. So I'm like, fine. So the Chinese guy spoke a little bit, and the Chinese guy said, "Oh, I want to know if they're going or not. Can you help me ask them?" I'm like, okay. So I went up to Alex and Felipe, mainly Alex, who's a fatter guy, white facial hair, shorter than me actually. I said, "Hey, he's wondering if you're gonna go to the photo gallery later," and he's like, "Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure." And so there, for about 10 minutes outside of the classroom, I was just the translator. And it's so funny, I'm translating between Mandarin and English. And I feel so fucking powerful out of nowhere. And yeah, the Chinese guy, James, was like, "Oh, do you know where is the photo gallery? When will we go? Who else is going? I have class until 5 p.m. Can we go at 5?" There's all that stuff. And then I helped them all translate, and it's really cool. And then after the translation, James was like, "Wow, your English is like so good." Like, damn. And I'm like, "Wow, thank you." Also, at the same time, I noticed something on my phone. So, at some point in the class, we had to take a photo of a guy. And, given that it's me, it's Enoch Lai, I edited the hell out of that photo. I made it super yellow and green. I made the background really dreamy and blurry for no reason. I added a funky frame. I just made it really weird. And then I showed it to Professor, and he's like, "Whoa, you've messed with the sliders too much." And then I think he didn't even ask. He just took my phone and he just showed it around the class, like to the other side of the classroom. And he gave it back to me, which I'm fine with, but like, okay, like, thank God nothing personal is on there or anything. But after that, I checked my phone again out under the pure sunlight, and I saw that there is a purplish rectangle about the width of my middle finger, or more like the length of my middle finger and the width of a horizontal rectangular, and height of like half a middle finger. It's kind of weird. and it's right at the bottom of my screen, in like bottom middle, not the very tip bottom, just the bottom middle. It's really weird. It came out of nowhere and I was like shocked. This is different. This isn't screen cancer. When I have screen cancer, it's at the corner of the phone and it's like dark purple. This is different. This is a very light purpley tint, but I panicked for a little bit in my heart. But this is different. I can tell this is different. And I made sure, like for the last 2.5 years I've been using this phone, I made sure not to put it in my pocket whenever I sit down. Like I made sure not to drop it as much. So what the fuck is this? Turns out this is a fingerprint reader or like a touching sensor, and there's something wrong with it, but theoretically it shouldn't spread. Also, I can't check it now. It's only visible under strong sunlight, so at some point I thought, oh, it's gone. And turns out it's gone because I couldn't see it because there's shade on top of me. And even like in front of a strong lamp, I still couldn't see it. It has to be under strong sunlight for me to find out. So it's really weird, but I hope it doesn't spread. I'm not that worried either for some reason. But yeah, then anyways, went back home. And on my way went to Nijia Market, bought a bunch of stuff. Walked back home and then had an Indomie with a boiled egg and some kimchi radish, and then edited a couple reviews, and then at around 4:40 I'm ready to roll out again. Around 4:30 I went to CMD, and I went to CMD and I just arrived there, and Cliff told me that people will start leaving at 5 p.m. so it would be better if I arrive at 5, or like before 5. And I thought he meant that. I didn't exactly know what he means. I thought he meant that the people will come back at 5. But anyways, there are only like 4 people in the entire CMD who can open rooms. The big one is Drew, and there's Mario, the vice head of the media department. There's Thorin Jurgensen, and then there's another guy. So I just went up to Drew. So at first I went there and it's very quiet. I don't think I've ever been to CMD on a Monday before. Ooh. So it's really quiet, and I went to storage room and it's locked, and I was hoping that Leslie would be here. Turns out Leslie and Kiara made up. They're friends again. Like Leslie randomly hugged Kiara last Friday, and then today I saw them both like take an Instagram, not a selfie, but like Leslie took a photo of her leg and Kiara's leg and tagged her. So okay, they're friends again, I guess. Yeah, apparently there's that. So Leslie's not here anymore, unfortunately. I couldn't surprise her. But Drew's here. Drew showed up a little later, and I told Drew about using room 290 with Cliff, and he's like, "Oh, sure." So we went up the elevator. He opened the room, and I didn't know what to say. It was kind of awkward, so I asked him, "Do you know what goes on around here on a Monday? Because I don't think I've ever been here on a Monday." And he's like, "Oh yeah, there are no film production classes, only like film critical studies class with Guccio." So there's that. And then yeah, he opened the room and then he just left. And I was like, "Oh, see you," trying to be nice, but I guess he didn't hear it. So I went to the room and I just sat down and I waited for about 40 minutes. I chilled, I set up my laptop and everything. I hate bringing my laptop and my charging devices and my hard drive out in the open, but I have to. And this is a good spot for color grading. So Cliff arrives at around 5:40, 5:45-ish, and he was wearing a mask. Turns out he had running nose earlier this morning, which concerned him. Probably not COVID, maybe a flu, but a lot of people are getting sick lately. So that's that. I'm surprised I'm not the one who got sick, because I'm so like fragile. I'm such a fragile person. But essentially there's that. But yeah, we immediately started color grading. It took us a while to try to figure out how to transfer files from my hard drive to the main computer of the room. because for some reason the main computer isn't recognizing my hard drives. So my hard drives has two drives in it actually, and it's not recognizing the main one. So that's a problem. And then there's all this issue when loading the project onto DaVinci. There are all these time code issues, clips that are quote unquote missing when they're literally there, clips that are like zoomed in, diminished for some reason, like small for some reason. After we fixed all that, it was already like 7 something p.m. And then we finally started grading. We graded the poster, and then we started grading from shot to shot to shot. And I think it's successful. I've never had such good color grading for a short film in my life before. I've never directed a color grader before, so this is all new to me, and this is fucking fantastic. And even though, like, normally in a situation like this, I would feel inferior. Like, oh my god, Cliff is such an expert, and, you know, I'm not. But I know that he's way better at color grading and DPing than me, like, infinite times. But, like, ultimately, I see where we are. I'm the director. I am more like a creative guy who writes and thinks, and he colors. He knows the technical aspects, and we just work well together. But yeah, you know, Cliff is a very busy man. You know, he made several phone calls from time to time, and then apparently Cruccio liked him really, really much. Like last Friday or something, Cruccio spoke to him a lot, and Cruccio joked around even. Like Cruccio saw Thomas, and because saw the name Thomas in the end credits of WoW, and since both Cruccio and Thomas also have the same last name, Cruccio was like, ha ha ha, do you think people think we're related or something? And Cliff was like, yeah. And then Alcy even showed up for like 2 seconds, so Cliff saw him. But Cruccio entrusted Cliff so much that Cruccio is asking Cliff to edit the Film 32 short film that he made for the Film 32 class. Like his own scene, you know. So there's that. So it's pretty crazy. And then Cliff also got a couple IMDb credits because he helped the USC shorts, the 310 shorts. Apparently last night was the 310 screenings, and Cliff was there. And also Cliff also moved like yesterday, moved to a place that's like 15 minutes away from CMD by walking distance, which is great. So now he doesn't live in South Sawtell anymore. And now I can say where he used to live. So there's that. So yeah, loads of things. And then at some point, so the Indian professor's in Italy, but I think last Friday there's some stuff. Last Saturday there's some stuff. Cliff was here too, and Leslie and Drew were here. So there's that whole thing. But anyways, we kept color grading until 10 p.m. We kept color grading, and thank God I brought some snacks. I brought like a granola bar and a couple grilled biscuits. Otherwise, I would die of hunger. But while color grading, Leslie was texting me because I also told her that I dreamed of being in There Will Be Blood, like on the set, and then Leslie told me about how last night she dreamt of an old friend, and she's been dreaming about him for a few times lately, which is like kind of mystical and like I love a girl who always says something impressive. Like no matter what, like I could say some random shit like I want to eat scrambled eggs, and then she would give an actual interesting response. Like I could say something about my dreams, and then she would reply saying, "Oh, this is what I dreamed about." Like, A, that's engaging. B, she keeps impressing me. Like she's not like giving me some bullshit answer. Like if it was Pepper would say, "Oh, okay, I didn't have a dream yesterday." But no, like Leslie would, you know, like she would say something that constantly impresses me. Like holy shit. And I like that Leslie's like texting me actively, and she asked me like, do you have the schedule for the Film 32? Because she's looking to change some of her positions from for her Film 32 so that she could work with Film 33 more. So she asked me that, and even though we're not talking about anything super personal, it's just like it feels nice to have her chat with me and talk to me like that. And then she asked me, I told her I'm in CMD, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing there?" And I said, "Oh, I'm editing my short color grading my short film," and took a photo of the Da Vinci, and then she said, "Nice," and I hearted that comment. And it's just like simple things like this, like I even though we're talking and it's nothing special, I just feel so happy. I feel so like there's something so lovely about this. Like, oh my god. Like, I don't know why a couple of days ago in the morning I would feel sad and a little unsettled, just a tiny bit. But I have no right. I literally have no right. I think it was last night when I went through my old WhatsApp messages with Natalie, and I saw the photos of her sending me her wristlets. Back then, I had more reasons to slit my wrist and commit suicide than I have today. Like, I'm so blessed today. I have so much going on. So I'm incredibly like happy. I'm so like enamored. It's actually amazing. I just want to get more personal with her. I just really want to get more personal. And even though Leslie has never really taken a photo of her own food and sent it to me, but her telling me that, oh, I'm watching a movie and eating ice cream, like small talk like this is already a step forward. Really a huge step forward. Um, yeah, there's that. Though I do really want to get personal with her. And if I want to confess to her, which I'm still debating myself with, but I just feel like this is too great of a chance to pass on, right? I would say like mid-May. I would say if we can reach a level of like intimacy and like really like real deep personal talk, like I would say mid-May, like right before the Film 33 shoot. And then by then it would have been 2 months since I've had a crush on her. 2 whole months has passed already. How many people has had a crush and like a week later it's gone or a month later it's gone? But Leslie's like every time I love someone for real, I love them for like 4 years. So yeah, I just damn, I just want to get personal with her. And I feel so bad. Like my hair is so goofy, and I have acne all over my face, and I'm skinny. But yeah, that's that. And I'm glad I did the color grading today. I think that's a huge step forward. And also because Cliff prefers having the full thing, so I actually literally finish editing the whole short film, like image wise. Of course, there will be changes, but like I've reached the final point. Without the end credits, so it's kind of a great progress today, honestly, if you ask me. And then not much else. Still talking to that old geezer on eBay about the Sigma lens. He sent me. I don't even know if it's he. I don't know if he's even old, but I'm gonna assume. He sent me a message saying, "Can you confirm your address? I'm seeing you text me from 2 different accounts. Can I confirm your address?" And I'm like, "Sure." I hope he's like old and he knows nothing about lenses, and he's literally actually being honest about having opened the box to the lens and then not using it actually. Because I'm still low-key worried that it's gonna be like a faulty copy of the Sigma lens. But yeah, overall, pretty good day. I feel pretty happy. Yeah, I Leslie does not disappoint. She does not. Also, Michelle's still gone MIA. She's reading my Instagram stories, but on Discord she's completely gone. Don't know what's up with that. I forgot to mention that I ran into Alba on the bus back from school from photo 1 to home. I ran into Alba. I saw Alba in front of me. She didn't see me, but of course I saw her. I always see people before they see me. And like as I was leaving, and I had my beanie on. As I was leaving, I looked at her and I was like, Alba, and she's like, and then the moment she's like, I just walked away. I said hi, and she's like, all right. Time now is 11:06 a.m. in the morning on May 9th. I slept from 3:15 to 11:40, 10:40, which is really nice. It's 7.5 hours of sleep. I feel rejuvenated. I also pretty much immediately fell asleep. I was so tired last night. Yeah, I'm feeling good right now. I had a dream. I had a few dreams, but then I forgot about it all. I actually, after brushing my teeth, I went back to bed just so that I could recall my dream, but I just cannot. I just have so many thoughts about Leslie, about Film 33, about everything else that, what to have for breakfast and lunch, that it just completely ruined my dreams, like ruined my ability to recall these dreams. So I don't know, but lately I really cannot remember any of my dreams. Maybe I'm just old enough to a point where my dreams are just so faint and they're not, they're not as memorable. I don't know, but anyways, there's that. My phone continues to run out of storage space dramatically, which is amazing. I love it when that happens. What I want to say is, today is a Tuesday. I'm going to photo 2, and today should be photo 2 and nothing else. Nothing fancy is gonna happen. Kat wants about 10 students to show up in a meeting and talk about giving money to Film 33. I'm helping her with finding the people. I'm also thinking of, again, all the basic stuff. The permits, continue, organizing location scouts. We're 16 days away from the actual shoot, so there's that. I've also been thinking about Leslie. I just constantly questioning myself, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Because I really want to let her have the idea that there's so much more to me. I'm still just as infatuated with her, if not more, honestly. I have to tell her someday. And then Charles, I feel good about yesterday. The progress I made on my short film is impeccable. I was gonna finish The Virgin last night before bed, but I'm just too sleepy to do that. And then I'm also excited about the lens. So I'm actually feeling pretty good, pretty optimistic as of now, for some reason. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, not much else. Not much else.
My photo 2 student, you better turn in photos.
I don't know.
Photo 1, 2. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great. You should be shooting.
やっぱプロフィールするより実際その状態でしか見れない一つのが綺麗にやっぱ映る12や3歳代もちろんでも depends
I took one, sorry. I've been at 4 and you'll catch some of him.
All right, time now is 1:24 a.m. in the morning on May 10th. Yeah, so quite a bit to talk about. Mainly went to photo 2. I was pretty much a bit early, and today for the whole day, it was kind of interesting because we got to shoot photos with Hasselblad camera with medium format Ilford film. Oh god, Leslie's texting me. God, I can't for a can. Again, pretty much no one commented on the fact that I wore a beanie. Like, I saw Pepper, I saw Potter. Aoba showed up, but very late. Oh my god. Yeah, we messed with the Hasselblad, and because there are two cameras, two Hasselblad cameras only, so everyone needs to shoot. But we have to wait turns. So from like 3 p.m. until nearly 6 p.m. I was just standing there outside in that little area with literally everyone else just waiting, and it's like awkward. So Lily, the lesbian, the white girl, bought a bunch of film, and Potter's distributing it, and Potter gave me 2 rolls of films and asked me to give him $16. I was gonna like Zelle him like way later today, but he's like, no, Zelle me now, otherwise you'll forget. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then turns out he forgot to save one for Aoba, so I gave one of my, films to Aoba. And it's like 12 exposures each, so there's that. And then yeah, we just waited. At some point, there's a teacher assistant, and he's a professional street photographer. He's like, oh, you look interesting. So he asked me to be a model for a while. So for about 10 minutes, I was a model, and it fucking sucked. I wasn't in the mood to be a model at all. I feel tired as hell. I feel bored as hell. So I was just like standing there. And one of the guys, a Latino guy, long hair Latino guy, Carlos, he was like, can you like shout? And I really don't know. I don't want to shout. And he said, make a shouty face. So I'm like, and he's like, oh, never mind, don't do it. And then at some point, Diego told me to lay on top of an apple box and like hang my arms onto the ground. So I did that, and I don't know why, but like the way the apple box like hit my abdomen, the way it sort of like hit against my abdomen, it made me feel very sick, and I had to like stay in that pose for like half a minute, and it just fucking sucked. So after that, I'm like, I'm done. And then Ken the Taiwanese showed up, which is really cool. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, like, I'm just so bored. And yeah, he actually talked to me about UCLA and USC applications and stuff like that. And he said he was meaning to ask me about the USC and UCLA applications because he's gonna work on it. And I'm like, oh, there's a PIQs, there's a 5-minute short film, there's this, there's that, and he's like confused. He's like, whoa, what? And so he's like, I was like, you know what? I'll talk to you another time about this. It's very complicated, so you'll need to hear from me. And then we talked about the writing samples we have to submit for UCLA, and USC, and I talked about how a lot of people want to do experimental artsy horror. I wanted to do that too, but at the end I ended up writing Chinese period, like epic. And he got interested. He's like, what, really? Can I read it? And I'm like, sure, I'll send it to you someday. And then I said it's like a Song Dynasty epic with crazy character relationships and whatever. And he actually got interested. And he's like, what? Holy shit, I love period films too. And then we talked about period films, like Barry Lyndon and whatever. And I asked him if there's one genre, what genre will you pick? And he said period drama. And I'm like, bro, that's so impressive. Because so he's like, oh, I can be your writing partner. And I'm like, yeah. And like in the whole class, I talked more to Ken than to literally anyone else. And he's not even in the class, so that's pretty funny. And then because I was like the second last person to ever use the Hasselblad in the whole class, the last one is Pepper, and everyone was already gone. Like by the time around 6 p.m., everyone went back inside to develop film, to process film or whatever. And I'm just like there like an idiot. And then I went back in after finishing the film, and the professor used his own tongue to lick the tape. And then I was so confused, because now I have to, like, either I have to hold this film and keep it so that I develop it next week, or develop it now, which is bad. I want to just go home. It's like sunset already. But then at the same time, if I have developed next week and then like 90% of the class has already developed it, then it's like stupid. Then I would feel stupid because everyone's already printing. So I really don't know what to do. So Aoba is already printing. Like Potter's, I don't know if he printed or not, but Pepper was like, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna print. By that point, I already had my Hasselblad film unrolled inside the fucking plastic canister, ready to be developed. Like, I can't put it back. It's in the canister. I have to develop it now. And so I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So Potter and Pepper just walks off and left. They just left, leaving me and like maybe about 6 other people alone in the processing rooms. So I started like processing. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just process it. And it was so hard because I've never used this type of film before. I've never used a plastic container either. So it's just like, I don't know how to work it. I had to ask for help, and I had to figure it out by myself. And I was so sure that I fucked it up, definitely. So I developed it, you know, I poured the developer fluid, the fix, the stop, blah, 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 blah. And then it's done. And then by then, Aoba's gone already. And the film turned out purple and transparent. What the fuck? Turns out it's not transparent. Turns out it's just like very purple and very underexposed for some reason. But it's whatever. I don't really care. So I dried the film, put it in a slid, left. And I left alone. I took a bus alone. And then I took a bus, and then suddenly Aoba hopped onto the bus. And I'm like, what, Aoba, you again? So I sat beside her. I walked up to her and I sat beside her. And she's like, oh, you know. Turns out she went to like a Whole Foods to buy her dinner, which is like a plate of salad. She didn't eat anything the whole day today, pretty much. She only ate like a little bit of stuff, whatever, and then she's gonna have salad for dinner. And she said she wants to like, you know, eat less, and like carbs will just destroy her. And then I told her, oh, I'm eating rice and ground beef and carrots and peas and tomato sauce and whatever. And he's like, wow, okay. And he said he gained 10 kilograms after coming to the US like 2 years ago. And I said I lost like probably 3 or 4 kilograms after I came here. Like, I have to keep eating. But yeah, essentially there's that. Took a bus back home. And then I made myself dinner. And in the middle of class today, Michelle texted me on Discord. She's fucking alive. For the last 3 days, she didn't respond to me at all. I don't know what the fuck happened to her. She said, hey, I'm back from the dead. We need to talk. So during dinner, after I cooked, you know, which is the rice and stuff, I also had beans. We talked on the phone on Discord for like 2 hours. And turns out it's because Michelle had hives and she went to the emergency room on like Friday or Saturday night or something. And since then she was at home, but she was sort of like, she needs a break. And I'm a very intense, dramatic person. I totally agree with that. So there's that. And she was also sort of like panicky about film school transfer and whatever. And, you know, I understand that feeling. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we called and she talked about, yeah, I told her about, you know, Betsy and also Leslie and how I hallucinated. I thought Leslie was in the cafe last Thursday after film 33. Turns out it's Betsy, which is so hilarious. But yeah, essentially there's that. And then almost immediately, like near the end of my call with Michelle, Leslie started texting me. And now that's the fucking main course of the day. So Leslie's sad. Like, what did she text me? Oh yeah, she texted me that she spoke with Kuchio, and Kuchio let her be on film 33, be on the set for film 33 all the way. So now she's like excited, which is cool, and I like that she's texting me. She knows my existence, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I fuck. Okay, here we go. This is the big thing. I probably don't have time to watch a movie tonight because I'm fucking traumatized by the conversation I had with Leslie. So, I don't know why, but Leslie randomly texted me saying that she's crying, and she's vaping, and she's drinking right now, and she's listening to music. And I'm like, I'm vibing with her. I'm like, oh yeah, last Saturday I felt really sad too. And I told her how last Saturday morning I thought she disliked me, but it's not her fault. Like, I think it's just me being, paranoid. And then she just casually said, no, I love you. And I don't take it seriously, and I don't think it's serious at all. So I'm like, haha, okay. And then I went further, because I feel like now is the time, right? So I told her, oh, remember that thing I was going to tell you about? And she's like, you know what, tell me, since I'm drunk. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, you know what, I should just tell her today, because there's no other better time. Yeah. She's still texting me, fucking hell. So, so I told her the truth. Not the truth, half the truth. I told her I have a crush on someone. Last Friday, you told me that you'll find someone. Well, I found someone. Yeah, so, I told her that, and of course, as expected, she immediately got really curious. She's like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And I'm like, I can't tell you. I just can't. So right now, it's like I have the upper hand. Like, I know who it is. It's her. She doesn't know. So it's like a little Shakespearean. Like, ooh, like, she's curious who the crush is, and she doesn't know it's herself. But I underestimated how smart she is. Even though she's drunk, she's still smart. So, at first she's like, okay, just tell me, like, let me narrow it down. And at some point we started talking about love life, and she said she's crying because she misses that girl. And that's when I start shaking. I'm probably, if I'm sitting down right now, I would probably be shaking. That's why I have to walk around. But I was sitting on this chair, and I actually started shaking out of nervousness. Because it's sour. It's like, I love her and she likes another girl. But also, it's like, I can feel how longing she is for that other girl. Like, how much she desires that other girl. And I feel bad, because if I am her, I would just ignore this fucking weird mustache, helmet hair idiot, and I'll pursue that other girl. Like, if I was in her place, I would, like, reject me. But I don't want her to reject me. So it's really awkward, but also it's so nervous. It's like, my heart's sinking, but my heart's also racing at the same time because I'm speaking to her. And now she's curious. And she keeps guessing and guessing and guessing and guessing and guessing. She's still guessing now. She just guessed Liana. She guessed, is it Bree? Is it Skylar? Is it Liana? She just guessed Aoba. She's not. I said no. I didn't say no or yes. I just said I can't tell you that. And then I underestimated how smart she is. And she said, unless it's me. Which is crazy. The possibility of it is under 1%. Which is great. This means that I am like part of the small minority of people who actually like her. And then she said, and I'm like, I don't know what to say then. Like, now it's getting tricky. Because now I need to make sure, I don't want to lie and I don't want to say no. because I do love her. And I don't want to say no because I don't want to lie. So I just kept avoiding the question. And usually, this is how I avoid yes-no questions. I return it with another question. I say, why would you think that? So I asked Leslie, why would you think that? And Leslie said, well, when I was in junior high, a guy told me he had a crush, and I named all the girls in my class except for me, and turns out she had a crush on me. What the fuck? This had happened to her before already? This is both dreadfully anxiety-inducing and funny at the same time. This is terrible. So this had never happened to her. And then she told me that after the guy confessed to her, that traumatized her for a whole week. And it was like the worst feeling for her because she didn't know what to do, because she doesn't understand why someone would find her attractive. Which is so fucking insane. So that's literally me right there. And so she started like threatening me. She's like, okay, I give you 5 minutes. Answer if you have a crush on me or not. Answer it, yes or no. I give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me the answer in 5 minutes, I'll exit this game. And I'm like, what game? And he's like, just answer me. And I'm like, what game? And she said, the guessing game of guessing your crush. And I'm like, okay, let's count it down. And so she started actually counting down. 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. And I said, 1 minute left. I'll count it down for you. And then finally time's up. It's 1:21. I didn't answer it. And I said, I know the answer is obvious, but I can't say it because it's I'm committed to not answering any questions. And she's like, bruh, if it's not me and you tell me it's not me, it won't hurt anyone. And I'm like, it will hurt someone. And he's like, hurt who? And I said, well, it will hurt my commitment to not answering any questions. And she's like, bruh. And even though she said she's exited the guessing game, she's still guessing now. So, I don't know. And then she also told me that she's not interested in any human interactions now. She's not in the mood for dating at all right now. So my chances are basically ruined. She's in love with the other girl, and she's also not interested in dating. And also, if I tell her I have a crush on her now, it's just going to traumatize her. Which shouldn't be traumatizing. Because, it should be. If someone confessed to me, I would be traumatized. But I guess, she just doesn't like the idea that someone likes her back. Fuck, I should feel really sad right now. Because I'm basically ruined. But then now that I've told her that I like her, I'll have to eventually tell her. I've entered uncharted territories. With Mary, I've only told Mary, I've told her hi. And I told her I have feelings for her, and then that's it. We never talked ever since. This is uncharted territory. So I really don't know what to do. And she's probably still guessing. So I really don't know. I really need to think. I'm really thinking. I'm really in between never telling Leslie, but then missing a wonderful chance because she's truly one of the most remarkable women I've ever met. Truly one of the most interesting, individuals I've ever encountered. And then saying yes and having everything ruined, ever. And that's even before I want to have a deep conversation with her about something. To be fair, our conversation just now was pretty deep about love and everything. And sadness and whatever, but not deep enough, I just feel like we need to get to know each other more first. Fuck. Alright, time now is 9:53 a.m. on May 10th. I slept from 3:45 till 9:30 pretty much. I slept extremely late. I did do any college homework. I didn't edit Japan videos. I didn't do jack shit last night. I didn't watch a movie. I think my conversation with Leslie is just the real main course of last night. And it's also the thing that's going to haunt me for a while. I don't know, man. This is dreadful. This is so... I don't fucking understand how people just like love each other and like have relationships. That's ridiculous because it's impossible with Leslie. It's like she's, you know, into another girl and she's sad about it. And then because of that, she doesn't want any human interaction. Like, so she's not interested in dating at this point. And she said that, you know, if I do this guessing game thing and turns out the crush is her, then she would be traumatized for a whole week. And she wouldn't want that. It's like, then it's like zero. Not only is it zero chance for me, it's just like I'm setting up myself for failure, basically. Like if I didn't play a guessing game and directly tell her, it would probably have even been better. And also, like, she definitely won't like me back. And it's so funny because I told her, you know what, I'll definitely get rejected by her. And she'll definitely say no. And then she told me, well, you should at least try. I mean, tell me who it is. Let me help you. And in my head, I'm like, you can't fucking help. You're her. Is it too soon? I feel like if only if, you know, we had dinner together and we watch a movie together, then maybe I could tell her all this. Maybe it's just too soon. I should have told her way later. My God, I'm so done. There's literally, and again, it's so hard for someone to like me back. Like, nobody really likes me. And then again, I said that and she's like, no, I love you. But it's like a sarcastic. Which is even worse. If she truly loves me, then she wouldn't downright say that, you know? Why is it so difficult? It's just haunting me. This is now haunting me forever. And she doesn't react the same way as Michelle. Like, I told her all the sad shit I have. Like, yo, you know, how I told her the origins of my name, Detective. And she's like, yeah, that's sad. But if I tell Michelle that, Michelle would be like, wow, I didn't expect that from you. You have enemies? But like, with Leslie, she's just like, wow. Like, and not because she doesn't know how to react, but because she just expects that. Like, it's not that surprising for her. Oh my God. I just cannot. I'm going to be so distracted. But yeah, you know, it's pretty much, I would say that it's pretty much set that she wouldn't like me back. I would say my hopes are extremely low. And it's different. Like, I guess to other people, it's like, well, if she doesn't like you back, well, you can at least make her like you back. Like, you can try your best. Like, be nice and buy her some flowers and some shit like that. But it's Leslie, and it's 2023. It's like, it's not how it works anymore. She's such a complicated person. She's such a fucking complicated person. Yeah, and it's just so sad to me that, like, I fantasize all these things. I think, oh my God, we could do all these things together. Like, we would watch movies together. Like, she would recommend a movie to me and I would recommend a movie to her and we would have a double feature together. watching a film through the projector that she has in her apartment. Or, you know, we could go somewhere and like I could like cook dinner for her or like clean up her room. And then like maybe we could go adventure and get lost in the middle of Los Angeles and then listen to music until 5 a.m. and drink. I told her that I want to drink because maybe there's a better cure for sadness. And then she's like, please don't, please don't. Drinking will make you even more sad. But she doesn't realize that I want to be more sad. Like, I'm too happy nowadays. And she doesn't know my personality. She asked me, like, what's my type? And she said she thinks I'm the kind of guy who likes Loisan, which is like goddess. And I'm like, what do you mean, the pure and innocent kind? And she's like, no, but like, extroverted and a little bit mysterious, kind of an interesting person. Well, she's talking about herself. Yes, I honestly don't care if the girl's extroverted or introverted. I don't believe in that. But I like mysterious people. I like interesting, complicated people. Yeah. I don't fucking know. And this is real love. It's gonna be so tough for me to move on from that. It's gonna be like Mary all over again. It's like, how many years will it take for me to find another girl? You know, how many years? If it's not her, then I guess I'll have to move on. But she wouldn't understand. She's 18. And, you know, she's not me. And, she has a type too. She said, when the guy in her junior high school confessed to her, it's like, she said no, and even though she takes him as a bro, but he's not her type. I'm definitely not Leslie's type. It's like, I'm not that cool fucking guy. I'm not that cool, okay? So, yeah. I'm such an idiot. I look like such an idiot. And if one thing, it would be that at least this has gone farther than with Mary. You know, with Mary, I've never even truly confessed to her. I did confess to her, or at least try, but it doesn't matter. But with Leslie, I could go even further. I would befriend her and like be close with her. At least I've made progress, you know. But yeah, this is so bad and this is so terrible. This is so terrible. I look so bad, and she's just not gonna like me. I'm so 100% sure. And she just texted me at 7 a.m. asking me, like, telling me that she needs to be sober or something because she drank last night. I want to do wild shit with her. Like, I want to take drugs with her. Apparently, she and Pepper gave her some, like, chewing gum drug when they went to a concert together a couple months ago, and it had no effect on her. But yeah, and then I told her that Pepper's boring, and she's like, yeah, I think so. The best girls are always the ones that are hardest to reach. That's how you know she's high quality. Also, I want to mention, I finished writing The Virgin last night. I guess I just had the motivation to finish it, but I was so sleepy, I almost like typed the wrong thing because my mind was already like drifting off, like literally dozing off while writing it. But it's complete, so there's that. Alright, so time now is 1:53 p.m. I'm back at home again after my photo 1 class. I was late for like 15 minutes, but honestly, I just don't have the motivation anymore. I don't care if I'm late at all or anything. I just don't care anymore. And we did nothing today. We shoot more portraits. It literally means nothing. Aiden was there, and then he drove me back home. And I saw that he has a car, and given that he goes all over LA, I thought it would be a great opportunity to ask him if he can drive me to Monterey Park to the haircut place that I go to often. And he's like, sure, I'll tell you if I'm going there. So that's that. Anyways, I am fucked. When I was waiting at the first bus stop, okay, the first bus never came, but when I was waiting there, I almost cried. And then just now, after I came back home, I had no motivation to eat anything at all. Even this morning, I wasn't hungry. I just don't want to eat food anymore. I'm just so fucking fed up of eating food. Like, fuck food. And then, like, I came back and fuck it. You know, it's the rules, it's my plan, so I'm gonna eat. So I ate a chicken breast, black bean, tortilla wrap, which is so mid. It's so dry, it's so mid, it's not great. And I was choking, and I cried while eating this fucking tortilla. Like, I almost cried. Because I just keep thinking about Leslie and how... I don't know what to do. Like, usually I have plan B, plan C to everything. Like this, I'm just defeated. I'm just done. I'm just gone. Fuck. Like, I don't know, I guess... And all these things I fantasized, right? Like me teaching her Cantonese and she teaching me Mandarin. And like eating food together, me cleaning up her bedroom. They will forever stay fantasies. Like, it's fucking over. It's over. It's done. It's fucking over, okay? Like, she'll find out soon. She'll have to find out that I like her. And then she'll reject me. And it's okay. I'm just gonna move on. I just thought about, you know, it's okay. I'll just move on. A few months later, I will just move on again. And I'll forget about her and it's gonna be okay. And when I thought of that, I almost cried. So yeah, I'm going to film 32 right now to see Leslie. And Leslie's in every fucking Instagram post ever. Okay, like for Friday film 32, Professor Antonio took a photo and like posted it on his Instagram, and Leslie's in it. He's not even in that class. And then for my film 33, she's also in those fucking photos. She's everywhere. I can't fucking believe it. Yeah, and then I laughed. Just how ridiculous this situation is. How fucking ridiculous this situation is. Like, had I not fallen in love with her, like this emotional damage could have been avoided. But no. I had to. It's a curse. Man. And this is real love. Like, this isn't like me speculating about that I may like Pepper or some shit like that. No, this is real.
Also, you will lose all your money in the next.
Alright, time now is 10:15 p.m. yeah, let's wrap it up today. So, yeah, I went to Film 32 Wednesday. I honestly don't even know why I did that. Like, at some point, I'm just so emotionally distraught that I don't want to do anything. Yet, I just kind of want to go. So, I went. I just took a bus, listened to sad music, Midair Thief and Radiohead, and then I just walked to CMD, and there I was. And even earlier today, Leslie texted me that the cam op is having a backache, and I said, well, she should take a break. And then she said, well, she hasn't had a break. And I'm like, okay. And inside me, I'm just dying. I'm just dying. I, again, almost cried while walking to CMD. And every time I cry, there's a thought trigger. Like, either it's the concept that, you know, I'll just forget about Leslie, she'll forget about me, and both of us will move on, just like how I and Mary ended up being. Or the trigger would be, you know, me telling Leslie that I'm glad I've met her, and that I'm glad, you know, we had a good time. Or it's the concept that I fantasize doing so much with Leslie, and none of those fantasies will come true. But either way, like, these thoughts trigger me, and I would want to cry. And so out of just despair, I walked to, instead of going directly into CMD, I actually walked past the CMD front entrance and directly went to the little backside of CMD where a year ago when I was really, really sad, I would go there just once, and I listen to music, and I just like walk around there, that little part where it's nothing but trees and like not even a fucking sidewalk. And then so the third tree, from that point on, I have decided that that will be my temple. That will be like my shrine. And I will put my hands on that tree, no matter how dirty that tree is, and I would close my eyes and I would just feel. And that kind of helped. When I actually did it, it was like sort of stupid, but yeah, that sort of helped. Also, a chunk of my eyebrows are gone, so more on that later. Yeah, I also walked past Michelle the Indonesian. So anyways, I went to CMD, and I went into the room and went to soundstage, and there they are. And I'm just torturing myself. I told Michelle, like, well, guess what? Leslie's right in front of me now. And it's torturous. I saw Leslie being a cam op. There she is. And even when being a cam op, she's still like a boss. She still kept asking second AC, hey, can you like mark that for me? And she would ask the first AC, hey, can you focus? And she would ask Cuchillo, like, hey, is this the right movement? Like, she's so proactive and bossy. Kind of badass, honestly. I could never. And I don't even know what I'm doing. And I'm seeing her. She's right there, physically, in front of me. And me in my sad boy outfit, outlook with my beanie. I scared Aaliyah. Aaliyah saw me in the dark and she's like, whoa. It's funny because she is like the person with the most melanin I've ever seen. Which sounds like a wrong thing. I shouldn't have said that, but it's funny, fun fact. But she's like, whoa, I didn't see you there. And then I saw Ken. And throughout the whole day today, I was just like exhausted. And I almost forgot how tiring crying is. Like, crying actually exhausts you. Yeah, there's that. So crying actually exhausts you. So I felt tired a lot. There's that. I didn't speak much either. I felt that me being in this Film 32 class is like useless, pointless. It's just, I don't know what I'm doing there. I just walk around. I sat on the ground. I felt uneasy. I sat down and I can tell Leslie looking at my direction from like all across the soundstage, and I'm just like uneasy and uncomfortable. I didn't feel that bad. Like when I start interacting with people, suddenly I don't feel as sad. But yeah, there are so many points where I just walked out of the soundstage because I just feel trapped in the soundstage. But anyways, at around 2:40 something, they had a lunch break, and that's funny because I thought they wouldn't have I thought they had the lunch break way earlier. So, I started walking around and asking people if they're interested in PAing for ends and means. I got their emails, and I got several. I'm actually doing my job. And that's when Leslie like started to like walk up to me and say things. Like Leslie's like, "Wow, good job. You're actually doing your job, like wrangling PAs." And then she really like she's really curious who it is, who my crush is. Even though last night she was at some point really convinced that it's herself, but now she's not convinced that it's herself again. So she continued to ask me. Like she's like, "Come on, just tell me why." And I'm like, I just can't tell you. And it was a little awkward for me. Like I can't look at her in the eye anymore. Like oh my god, I can't even look at her in the eye. And and then she tapped on my shoulder, like this side, and she kept tapping, and she's like, "Come on, tell me." And I'm like, "No, I can't." And then she asked, "Does she have a boyfriend?" And she's so open about it too. Like there are other people who are listening to us. What the fuck? And she's like, "Tell me." And I'm like, "Bro, I can't." And then she showed me that she actually DM'd Cliff and asked Cliff who it is. And Cliff has no idea because I didn't tell Cliff. I told Cliff that I have a crush on someone, but I didn't tell him who. And Cliff said, "I don't know who." So like Leslie's like completely like out of options, and there's no way Leslie's gonna ask Michelle about this because Michelle knows how important this is to me. So yeah, and then the rest of the day went on, and I thought Carly's gonna show up, but she didn't. And again, my mood got a little better. I didn't feel happy, but I was okay with joking around. But it's definitely very obvious that I'm sad. Even like Tracy was like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So it's a wrap. They wrapped really early at around 4:45. At around 5, actually, around 5:30-ish. I just thought to myself, there's no fucking way am I gonna like leave the campus with Leslie. And even though Leslie probably doesn't have work later tonight because there's no film class later tonight, but there's no way I'm leaving with her. Turns out she does have work. So I walked up to Drew and I told Drew I have some questions about Film 33, and he's like, "You know what? Ask me tomorrow. I need to go to the Broad later to shoot something." And I'm like, "Oh, is it like a play?" And she's like, "No, the opera." And then when he said that, and when I saw him and Leslie like packing tripods really fast, real quick, then I know, okay, Leslie's gonna be going to the Broad with Drew to see the opera. I haven't even been there before. Fuck you. So at the end, I looked at Leslie, and then I just like left. I just did a 180 degree and I just walked away. And then while walking away, I saw Hinata and Leia, but they didn't see me. Of course, I always see people before they see me. And then I saw Cliff. So as I was leaving CMD, I saw Cliff across the street. I could tell it's him. And of course, I saw him before he saw me. So I put away my earbuds and I'm like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hello." And then I followed Cliff a little bit and walked back into the CMD, except it's the backside of CMD. And in there, I saw Justin and that other Mexican guy sharing a cigarette, or having a cigarette, having a cigarette time. And then that Mexican guy offered a cigarette to me. "You want to smoke?" And I'm like, "No." And then Justin was like, "Oh, I'm liking your new look, the new Joji look." So, finally someone notices that, I'm wearing a beanie. Thank you. And also the irony, because I wanted to actually try smoking. I wanted to hurt myself and hurt my body, but I wanted to be like with Leslie. but that's never gonna fucking happen. Like all that awesome shit about like me and Leslie just like drinking and me trying smoking for the first time, like listening to music until 5 a.m. and all that awesome fantasy bullshit will never happen again. Another noticeable moment is during lunch when Ken, me, a couple of other people, and Dean, this Latino guy, we're in the Every Table Cafe and we're just like talking. And Ken talked about how excited he is for the Death Grips concert, and I'm fucking excited too, even though I'm not in the mood at all. And I said, yeah, I'm very excited, you know. And they're like, and I saw the girls laughing and Dean laughing, and I'm like, wait, you know who Death Grips is? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, whoa, what? Because they're so, I know they're popular, but at the same time, I don't know anyone in the real world who actually listens to Death Grips, other than like Ken and Tommy the Macanese dude. Like other than those two people, no one else knows Death Grips, and Jonathan. So it's like rare. And then I said, yeah, you know, they're my second favorite band. And then they asked me, the girl asked me, then who's your favorite band? And I said, Radiohead. And when I said that, they're like, oh, of course. And Ken was like, yeah, I was about to like say, because it's like the most film maker band ever. But I will keep liking Radiohead, and I will keep recognizing Radiohead as my favorite because the band literally helped me through my teenage years. The first time I ever cried to a song, it's Radiohead. Radiohead changed the way I view art, changed the way I view life. It's the band. It's the band. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I walked around. Carly never showed up. I thought he would show up. She never did. Instead, Crystal, the Chinese mom, randomly DM'd me a photo of a Criterion Blu-ray of Wim Wenders' Wings of Desire, which is fucking amazing. And I'm like, oh, have you seen Paris, Texas? And she said Wings of Desire is better than Paris, Texas. And then we talked about Criterions a little bit, and I showed off, you know, the photos of Criterions I took, even though I never bought them, in the Grove and the other one in Seattle, which is really cool. So again, it's so ironic and strange and funny and And then I also, because this situation is so distraught, and literally I can't talk to anyone about this other than Michelle. Retablo, the guy who interviewed me, texted me about it because I made a tweet about it, and he's really concerned, and he immediately called me, which is I'm very grateful, I guess. And then I also reached out to Pink because she is such an expert, and Pink read it. I sent like 21 English texts. She read it and she hasn't responded. She might be a little overwhelmed by but that's that. Evelyn also DM'd me on Discord asking me, hey, what's up? And I'm like, what's going on? And she asked me if I'm going to the Anime Expo this year. I said, I don't know. The tickets are really expensive. But then again, I'm not in the mood. So yeah, I came back home. I forgot if I mentioned this, but while having quote-unquote lunch with the chicken breast and the black bean and the yogurt and the honey in their tortilla, I almost cried. I guess that's basically crying. I thought about Leslie, and I just really, really wanted to cry, and I was walking around, I was pacing back and forth around the kitchen and stuffing food in my mouth, like stuffing the chicken breast, and it's so dry, and it's so mid, and it just sucks. It just sucks so much. Yeah, it just really, really sucks. Yeah, and then I'm I don't know. And then I came back home and just, I'm not that sad right now, but, and maybe this morning I might have dramatized the situation a bit, because again, like aside from my POV, in Leslie's POV, this is just a regular Tuesday. Like, in her POV, I said some personal stuff, okay, interesting, and then that's it. in my POV, it's basically the end of the fucking world. So maybe I'm dramatizing this for a little bit. Also, oh my god. Michelle's texting me saying that she's annoyed at me. Of course she is. But yeah, I mean, again, if this is like, sure, it's terrible, but I think tons of people are in situations like this, like the girl you like likes another person, or the girl you like isn't into you. Like, it's such a common thing, but at the same time, it's very heartbreaking. That's also true. But yeah, you know, I don't know, and I was washing my face and everything, and I saw a razor blade in front of me, and I just cannot hold myself back. I'm like, it's right in front of me, I'm gonna do it. So I shaved a little bit. Honestly, it's barely noticeable. With my hair covering it up, it's like barely noticeable. But yeah, I also got this. So can't wait to play around with this. And that's pretty much it. There's also a lot of commotion about the frickin' DPAC meeting today. Yesterday, I helped Kat sort of collect 10 people. I ended up collecting 8 people who are interested in speaking up in the Zoom meeting to defend Film 33 and tell the DPAC that the AS should give us money. And I actually did that, which is pretty awesome, right? But then for some reason, Kat's really busy, so people, especially Bree and Tova, texted me and they were like, I haven't heard back from Kat, what's going on? But yeah, that's that. And then I forgot to mention that yesterday during photo 2, during photo 2, like Nagisa, the teacher assistant, grew really close with Aoba. That Aoba just like didn't even expect that. And like Nagisa would jump onto Aoba's back and Aoba's like, bikurishita. And then like they would speak Japanese, and again I would like understand like maybe 5 to 6% of it. So I would be able to get the gist of it. I could tell when Nagisa was telling Aoba about like, oh, this is a medium format camera, the crop factor is different, blah 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 blah. It's so cool. And then at some point, because we're shooting people, and people would do poses, and Nagisa told Aoba that she really likes poses because it's like JoJo, and when she said JoJo, she was like, JoJo mitai, like, or something like that, like, have you seen JoJo? And when she said that, I just turned around and said, oh, I've seen JoJo. And Nagisa wasn't surprised that I understand that. She's just like, oh, you know what I mean, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's pretty scary too. But yeah, you know, I just feel like right now, even though my situation really sucks, I should really get back on my feet and just a little bit. You just really pull through, because I just have a lot to handle. I've my own short film. I have like 3 days left to finish everything. The sound, the end credits. I just asked the cast and crew for their full English names and Chinese names, and they all responded within like 5 minutes. Almost everyone. And then yeah, that, and then I got my college homework, my art history class homework, even though I can skip it and still get an A, I don't care. I got personal shit. I want to edit my college update videos. I want to watch After Sun, and oh yeah, and then UCLA appeal thing. That's something I need to work on. And also, apparently tomorrow's script writing club meeting will be the last meeting ever. So maybe I'll have to present something. So I'll have to immediately write a script like right now. Even though I'm already like working on like fixing my Virgin script. But yeah, that's basically it. Also, gotta mention that right after I left CMD, Leslie pretty much immediately texted me asking me for Skylar's phone number. And I'm like, why? Apparently, the first ACs for the ends and means for the shoot will be taking a bit of a workshop, a bit of a class, and it is taught by none other than Miss Leslie herself, because she is such a fucking genius. such a professional. So yeah, I want to be there to see that. I want to see Leslie like owning everyone. And apparently that's why Leslie's so stressed today, and she kept on apologizing on set because her cam opping is not as good.